So you talked about working in the social welfare system, and obviously in the 1960s, there was a real push for a sort of racial reparation via social welfare programs and the Great Society programs. The idea expressed by LBJ is that, well, now the sort of barriers had been removed. If you had all of the runners at the start line and one of the runners was 20 yards behind the start line, then somehow we had to find a way to get the person 20 yards behind the start line up to the start line. That's what the social welfare programs were for. But it seems like in many ways the social welfare programs actually inhibited the ability for that runner to ever catch up. And there have been a lot of minority groups in the United States who have started off 20 yards behind the start line compared to white America. Many of those minority groups now routinely outperform white Americans in terms of income, including many groups of African immigrants. Nigerian Americans, for example, outperform white Americans in terms of income. So maybe you can talk a little bit about social welfare programs. Was it just well-intentioned and went wrong? Or was it, what exactly happened with the social welfare programs? Why didn't it help achieve this?
Very specifically, what happened was because whites were longing for their innocence, what whites did was literally steal away from black people agency over their own fate, over their own lives. LBJ said, "Put your life in my hands. I will give you an upward bound program. I will expand welfare payments. I will have school busing. I will have public housing," on and on. I am the actor. I am the agent of your uplift, of your fate, not you. You are nothing but a sort of cipher for my innocence. We blacks, not quite knowing how to handle freedom yet, bought into that and sold our soul away. We put agency, we said, okay, you be the agent of my uplift. You're right, you did commit, you were ugly, you were racist, so forth. So now you can redeem yourself by uplifting me. Well, when you look at that, you're giving away agency to your own uplift. You're putting it in somebody else's hands. When, in all of human history, has that ever worked? You don't give up agency and then think you're going to somehow miraculously get ahead. You want agency. Here's what we should have said. We should have said to white America and to Lyndon Johnson, thank you, but no thanks. You worry about your innocence. We'll worry about our development. We'll focus as individuals. We will become better educated than you. We will outcompete you. We don't want your help. We have our own honor, our own sense of dignity, our own self-possession. We fail to do that. Many, and I mean many individual blacks did do that. And they are thriving today. And we see them everywhere in every walk of life, making the point that if one wants to really take charge of one's fate and move ahead, you're free to do that today in America. You can become literally the president if that's what you want to do. You can become the CEO of a major corporation. You can become an artist. You can become a veterinarian. You can do whatever you want. And the government will never, ever, under any circumstances, be able to do that for you. It's a kind of sick, again, symbiotic bond between that came out of this great confession in the 60s. And both groups got blinded and made a very quick, down and dirty deal. That's why I think of Lyndon Johnson's Great Society as a down and dirty deal. He said, basically, I need the innocents to have legitimacy as the president and keep the government legitimate and so forth. I need that. So I'm going to give you all these programs, even though they don't do anything whatsoever, but teach you corruption, embroil you in corruption. I worked in those programs for 3 years. I've never seen so much corruption in my life. It was just wide open. You have to fight for your life. I had to get out of there. Or sink into that. And I was lucky. I was very lucky. I had two good parents and talked a lot and finally found my way out of there. But that's what we now have to do. We have to get away from that. We have to get away from our symbiotic relationship to white people. I don't want to have I want to be a human being. I want to be a citizen of the United States. I want to relate to all other human citizens. What your race is, I don't care.
Did you know that every like on this video creates one additional glorious leftist here? Don't ask me why. That's called science. To take advantage of this amazing opportunity, just hit the like button.